is your favorite receiver, Juan Daniels, and you're listening to the DGD Podcast with my man, Robert Reynolds. Go Dogs!
Welcome to the DGD Podcast, part of the On Top Sports Network, and brought to you by our friends over at La Terrain Watches. Great watches, excellent quality. It's not going to break the bank. Use code DGD at checkout for 10% off your purchase. You can check them out at laterrain.com. That is la-terrain, TOURAINE.com. Check them out. Let them know DGD sent you by using the code and get 10% off your purchase. Juan, we are joined by KTG. Caleb, welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, look, guys, I'm just going to let y'all know now. It's going to be juicy, right? Friday was juicy as hell, right? Previewing the cocktail party. Georgia did what we thought they would do, and we're going to talk about that. But Dopey Dan from the Gainesville clan did not just give us a beat down Saturday. We beat them down. But he beat himself down Monday, and we're going to talk about that in just a little bit because right now it is all sorts of fucked up in Gainesville, and I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. Caleb, we'll start with you first, my man. What were your overall thoughts, takeaways from the game Saturday?
Well, one takeaway is I didn't like the way we started offensively. We looked a little out of sorts, like we left our offense in Athens, but once again, the defense steps up, takes us where we need to be, and I really thought Florida was outmatched.
There's really no other way to put it. Juan, what say you, sir?
I'm the same way. I didn't love how we started out. We didn't just come out there with that offensive firepower that we normally are. Like I guess you kind of get spoiled with that 35-0 over Vanderbilt, as you sit there and we punish teams in the first half and then just kind of coast, a little bit in the second half, and that wasn't the case. But thankfully our defense stepped up and of course did, what they do.
No doubt about it. We're going to read a comment from the brigade here. Patrick Oliver mentions you out, Juan. He said he messed us up on your predictions, so he's carrying it over to this weekend, 63-3. Yeah. So obviously it wasn't a 63-3 win. Look, they only scored 7, and it was kind of garbage time at that point. But my takeaway is this: first quarter, our offense, at least our interior, in my opinion, got our asses whipped. Obviously, I think we were able to out-depth them. And honestly, had it not been for the flurry of turnovers and, momentum swing, right? I think that was about as big as a momentum swing as you're going to ever see this season, at least. It's just crazy to think, you get a takeaway and then immediately the next play, boom, touchdown. And then kind of the same thing, right? 2 plays later, pick, next play, touchdown. Like, to me, I know we had a struggle. We struggled in the first quarter, but to me, though, look, I think looking in that momentum right there, I think that was a brilliant thing to see because what that tells me is the offense can capitalize almost immediately. We have the capacity to do so. Now let's see if it can, if it's sustainable. And then obviously, defense came to play, right? AR-15 got the start. Didn't really see much out of them. I know they kind of did. They outgained us by 1 yard, so I'm sure Dan Mullen probably mentions that at some point when talking about the Dogs. But for the most part, a lot of that was kind of in the third quarter when the game was really over. I know y'all probably saw the video. N'Kobe Dean was pissed the hell off. He gave up 7 points, and I like that mentality. I actually don't like it. I love that mentality because that means they're invested. And that just tells me that they understand what's at stake. And I think that's why they're focused. They're laser focused at that, on winning the championship.
Agreed. I mean, for sure. And of course you're going to be disappointed. Florida did do a couple of things to move the ball, but at the end of the day, our defense showed up, and then they bowed their necks when they had to do. I mean, again, you're looking at a Florida team that scored 32, points or 30-something points on Alabama. They scored 30-something points on LSU, and they've, consistently scored a lot of points. They're a high-scoring team, and yet they come, and just barely get a 7 points. And like you said, it's garbage time. So yeah, you're going to be upset with that, if you're Dean. However, if you're looking at it, from our vantage point, that was a beatdown.
Oh, it was. I mean, completely. Caleb, I don't think you've been on since we did this, but we're going to go into our section, or actually it's not section, but a segment. And that segment is game balls, where we give out our game ball for each person is going to give out a game ball for the game this weekend. With that being said, since you're our host, or since you're our guest, well, I'm all over the place today, guys. Since you're the guest, God almighty, I'll let you go first. Give us a game ball. Who are you giving a game ball to, my man?
Nolan Smith. He was the one that got it started and kept it going. He had a forced fumble, an interception. And I'm going to tell you something. I think the biggest thing that really surprised me, AR-15 is a big, strong boy, and he just yanked that ball from his arm. So, yeah, Nolan Smith gets my game ball.
Juan, would you like to? Who are you giving your game ball to?
I'm going to give it to Dean. I mean, Dean did a great job. I mean, he's just a monster. But that pick six was awesome, man. That pick six, yeah, I almost kind of believe that if you had 15 to 20 guys in front of him, he probably would have ran all the way through him. He was that geeked up and that just jacked to get to the end zone and make a big time play for Georgia. And he's just been very consistent, throughout the year.
I hate y'all so much. Y'all took both. Y'all took both of them. This is what happens when you wait till the end to sit here and try to give it somebody new. It's so easy to give either Nakobe or Nolan Smith the game ball. But if I had to choose, I'm gonna go a little bit different here. I'm gonna go Zamir White. Zamir White. I wish we would have ran a lot more and gave him the ball more, because he was gashing that defense for everything that it was worth. Especially on the counter plays. It was a different variation of it, but he was gashing that defense all over. And to me, you look at what LSU had done prior to their bye week and heading up into this game. The fact that they didn't even, I don't know if it was a coaching thing or what, which I mean, we'll talk about this a little bit more. Look, I'm just telling you right now, they are not disciplined, and Zamir took full advantage of it, especially with that 42-yarder at the end. To really put it away, right? Obviously, it was put away before, but, just putting the nail in the coffin for damn sure with that 42-yard run off the counterplay. So, as much as I want to give Nolan Smith or Nakobe Dean, if I had three, I'd give them all three. Trust me. I'm going to stick with Zamir White and kind of go revert to the offensive side of the ball. But let's be honest here. Caleb, you mentioned Nolan Smith. This was a transcendent game for him as a dog. Everybody coming out of high school, number one overall recruit. And this is exactly why the type of plays that he made shows you exactly why he was, the potential to be a number one overall. You saw that on full display. I mean, literally took my man's lunch money, took the ball away, right? Pick, right? Wreaking havoc in the backfield. But somebody that really went underestimated here, Trayvon Walker. Just think about that tipped interception. 6'6", 300 pounds, and you're back in coverage. That's fucking absurd. It really is absurd. And look, I love it. I'm all for that. But how do you go against that if you look at a defense and you have that guy dropping back into coverage? Nakobe Dean on his pick six was a damn cornerback. What do you do? To me, that's a slap in the face of any offensive coordinator, because our defense looks at you and like, oh, it doesn't matter who you play, nothing like that.
Oh yeah, those dog blitzes. That's what they're designed to do. They're designed to, you're faking like you're coming up, and then you drop these big guys into pass coverage. They're not designed to pick balls off, but they are designed to get their hands up or just become a big presence. So when you're throwing in that zone, that zone window actually shrinks. So just a great defensive scheme, great thing that they do, and you'll fool a lot of quarterbacks who are not expecting something like that.
Yeah, I think the scary thing is too, Nakobe Dean was guarding two players on that interception, man. The dude that he threw the ball to, Nakobe Dean, wasn't even guarding. He undercut it. So that was probably the second most impressive play to me. But Nolan Smith, AR was my favorite. I don't like AR. I don't like none of them bombs over in Gainesville. So
Look, man, I'm telling you right now. Patrick Oliver mentions honorable mention to T. Walker, referencing Trayvon. Yeah, Trayvon had a really good game, and let's be honest, the defense overall had a really good game. I know there was a couple plays where Pierce ended up, busting free for a little bit, but we played a really sound game. Looking at it, we didn't really give up any penalties on defense, which was impressive to me. That tells you you're playing sound, disciplined ball on that side of the ball. I mean, we knew we're playing elite ball, but discipline in that regard and having But I think a lot of that too is pressuring Anthony Richardson into not being able to throw downfield and force the secondary to try to react and not draw flags and stuff. But that's just a testament to that front seven and the guys on this defense. And look, Dan, Dopey Dan chose the wrong time to bring out a freshman, a true legit fresh quarterback as your first start. You could not have set my man out to dry any worse. Worse. Put him out in the fire.
That defense they are bad to the bone, man. They are. Yeah, that is a nightmare for even your more veteran guys. But to put a freshman out there, that's that's a tough deal. That's a tough deal.
It honestly didn't matter because as soon as they brought in Emory Jones, the same shit happened. So to me, I look at it as it doesn't matter who Florida played at quarterback. You were going to get your ass beat, and Georgia did that. So yeah, it's kind of what we expected, right? I think, I don't know if we expected Juan. I know Friday we didn't expect our offense to kind of come out the gate struggling a little bit and look kind of sloppy or whatever for the first quarter. But I mean, obviously, once the momentum swung, right, and obviously we came out with 3, and then next it turns to 10, and before halftime you're sitting there and you're like, holy shit, it's 27-0 or 24-0. Sorry, it's like, okay, so this game's over. It doesn't matter. So it's just interesting. But let's see here. Reverting over to the Brigade, see what they've got to say. G Bama Boy comes in and says, I don't, if it's JT been absent, but UGA struggled on offense in the first half against Auburn, Kentucky, and Florida. I definitely think Florida, Bama, I think to me, and I think it was our interior offensive line was struggling, just getting beat up front. Look, Florida is a average team. They're legitimately 4-4. However, you look at guys like Zachary Carter, Javon Dexter, they're not scrubs. We can call them scrubs, but they actually have some talent. But they just don't have the depth, and that's a testament to Dopey Dan's recruiting. It apparently isn't recruiting season to him. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, no, you look at in the struggle on offense. To me, I think it's just a matter of we have to get better. Whether it's JT or Stetson, both of us, both quarterbacks can lead the offense to success and lead the team to wins. Obviously, I think you look at it as the defense carrying this team right now, but nonetheless, one thing that I love about Stetson Bennett right now is he's not turning the ball over. However, the Florida game was the game, and I think to have that kind of output, right, 2 picks. Terrible throws. However, I heard it was very windy there too. So I don't know how much that played in, but as a quarterback, you have to change your trajectory, your launch angles, things like that too. And really looking at that right there, you shouldn't throw into double coverage if you have the chance. You know what I mean? I'd rather you throw it away and try it again next down because they can't stop anything any fucking way. But yeah, I think with JT here, obviously didn't see JT whatsoever. I really think, moving forward, this is where we're going to see JT. Because we saw Stetson or 3 turnovers is not going to cut it. I'm sorry. We should not have turned the ball over 3 times, and 2 of them were picks.
Yeah.
Obviously, McIntosh fumbled, but nonetheless, 2 picks by Stetson.
It's just doing too much. You're doing too much. I mean, you just think about going back into the days of Alabama. You're not going to ask Greg McElroy to make those long throws. You're going to ask him, hey, do the checkdowns, do the intermediate throws. Let's not get greedy. Let's just do what we're supposed to do, and then and then just make those plays. And so until he understands that he's that caliber of quarterback, he's not going to be your Matthew Stafford, or he's not going to be that gunslinger that you may have in JT. So it's more along the lines of just kind of know your role, even if that's a called play. You know what? Go to your checkdowns, man, and it's just about hey, protecting the football, because, you know, in a bad situation, if you're putting your defense in bad situations or having them out on the field for a long time, sometimes, unfortunately, they break. And so that's just something that we don't want to get ourselves into. I think my man froze.
Yeah, I thought it was just me. My internet's been bad, but I was while he's froze, I was gonna say something about what G Baby said. He said, I don't know if it's JT's absence, but UJ struggled. You know, like he said, number one, yeah, we struggled against Florida a lot, but in the Auburn and Kentucky game, we didn't have the ball a lot in the first half. They really honestly drove the ball a little bit on us. So I think that's a little misleading, but I get what you're saying, but I think JT's got to be the man too. And I know a lot of people like Stetson's running ability, but JT just gets the ball out so much quicker that he don't really have to escape the pocket. So that's really why I would edge out JT over Stetson. But y'all gotta give Stetson a break, man. He's done a great job filling in for the man.
Absolutely, guys. Sorry about that. The internet connection must be seems like it must be from Gainesville or something. I don't know. It's just complete shit. Anyways, I look over here at the Brigade, and obviously Positively Ole Miss says that Florida has been lapped by Georgia, and I cannot agree more. Also mentions JT has to be the guy. Again, cannot agree more. With that being said, though, I do want to make a kind of an announcement for the Brigade and for everybody listening and watching, more so for people watching. Something really cool that we're doing as a part of the On Top Sports Network is we're basically allowing other channels, multiple channels for that matter, which obviously Positively Ole Miss is actually on his own YouTube channel right now watching this right here on his. So that's something that you'll see as well from this show, along with Positively Ole Miss and several others. You'll start to see more shows on the channels, and it's part of building our network up. So just wanted to call that out, let everybody know. Obviously, thanks, Stephen, for the opportunity both ways on that right there. But also, it looks like Jay Shipes is calling out G Bama. G Bama, what say you, buddy? Look, I love some banter right now. I love it. Ooh,
yeah,
man.
I tell you what, Bama's got their work cut out for them, and that Auburn game, that Iron Bowl is going to be very important, and it's going to be whoever's going to come out and play the best. You know, I mean, I think Auburn they're improving, and Alabama, they're just, I don't know, there's just something about them. They're either hit or miss. They're not the Alabama of old. They're not as scary as they used to be. And I tell you what, either way, I believe if Auburn wins, we're going to smoke Auburn. If Alabama wins, which is what I hope, you know, I really, really, really want to have an opportunity to put the smack down on Nick Saban, the smackdown that he deserves. To, you know, one of those ones where, you know, you look up on the screen at the end of the game and like, this is Nick Saban's worst suffered loss, you know, that he's had, you know, in his coaching career.
I think we can say this with mutual respect for Alabama as what they've done with Nick Saban there as a program. By all means, look, at least for me, I'll speak for myself. Juan, I'll let you speak on your own behalf. But look, I respect Bama, but I do think that I've seen cracks. And I think Georgia has the potential to beat them this year if they make it to Atlanta, which, look, Georgia can say that right now. You know, Bama still has a ways to go. Right now, that West is wide open. It could go a plethora of ways right now. You know, Bama still has to take care of business against Auburn, but Auburn controls their own destiny as well. And that to me is interesting because, you know, at this point leading up prior to the season, I think we were all under the assumption that it was going to be Georgia Bama. It still could be Georgia Bama, but it's not settled in stone just yet. You know, Auburn with Harsin there as first-year head coach, look, he's doing a great job for what it's worth, in my opinion. And you could say the same thing with Josh Heupel in Tennessee, which we'll see in a couple weeks. You know, looking at that right there, I think, you know, the SEC, the coaching hires that they made, surprisingly, I think Tennessee and Auburn so far have gotten it right. You know, Tennessee might be a crazy idea here. You know, this might be one of the last games to where you see anybody challenge Georgia offensively. Or, you know what I mean, like from an offensive standpoint, because they can score and they run the ball and they are tempo. So it's going to be interesting. Look, I still think Georgia manhandles Tennessee. Sorry, Vol fans. I don't care what you think. Georgia's going to whip that ass. But I'm just saying, I think they can move the ball on Georgia. We'll have to see what happens. You know, so obviously, you know, moving on from Florida for the moment, you know, looking at the remaining schedule here, which obviously we'll go through in the coming weeks, talking about these things right here. But you look at Missouri this coming up week, and we're going to go ahead and do a kind of a preview for Missouri, because obviously tomorrow is our Veterans Day special, and I want to talk more broad than just the Missouri game preview. So you're looking at Missouri. Missouri is terrible, and they made me look stupid because previously, prior to the season, I had them finishing third. I don't see that, and I don't even see them even coming relatively close. They are sixth at least for the foreseeable future. So thanks, Missouri, for making me look like a dumbass. I'm just going to let you know that now. You know, obviously, look, they also cannot stop the run, and that right there is terrible news. Running against, obviously, I think we're going to run all over them, and it's going to be a terrible game for them. What say you, Caleb?
Well, they made me look dumber because I picked them to finish second, honestly. So I don't like Missouri right now, but I honestly don't even like the Missouri-Georgia game. It's always just a lull, and sometimes we even play bad against them. They put up some points here and there. It ticks me off. Thank you, buddy. It ticks me off, but I don't know, man. I think that this year it's going to be ugly. We'll probably beat them like 75-0 and go about our business. My brother brought me my caffeine, man. Big shout-outs to him. Got to have my caffeine.
I'll tell you right now, Juan, I hope you're prepared, because I'm bringing something on tomorrow that most only people that have been on a deployment or in the military might know about it. It's caffeine. I'm just going to leave it there. But I'm telling you right now.
He's actually the reason I'm addicted to caffeine. He was a Marine. And, yeah, he's like, hey, man, try this. Now I'm hooked. I drink caffeine every day. I have a problem.
Look, give me the Black Rifle coffee. I love my Black Rifle coffee. But also, I'm not going to spoil what I'm bringing on tomorrow. But if you're military and you're listening to this, you might know what I'm talking about, especially if you've deployed. I promise you'll know at that point. Not going to spoil it. But I'm telling you right now, it is like pure cocaine in a can. That's all I'm going to say. You'll know. But anyways, look, enough about tomorrow. Let's focus right now. Missouri opens up. I think Circa Sports had them as a 39-point favorite, Georgia, at home. And then I think the numbers are about 38 and a half, around there. Look, Georgia's going to cover that. And it could honestly happen before halftime. So, I mean, that's my thoughts. Juan, what do you think about it?
It's going to be a massacre. This is going to be an opportunity. This needs to be a glorified practice for that interior line. Really, there's some things that we just need to get fixed. Some things that we need to shore up after that Florida game that we're going to need. Coming down the stretch. And just the things that I like. Even though we're looking at further down the road against Alabama. Think about it. We've played against Jefferson. We've played against Bo Nix. We've played against Emory and Richardson. We'll have the Tennessee quarterback. I think that we're going to do a great job of containing him. All of these things are going to be practice runs for Bryce Young. When we see him. So these are some opportunities to get some glorified practices, get some people healthy, get some other guys some playing time, so that we are hitting on all cylinders. When it's time to go to that SEC championship, we're already locked in. I mean, there's nothing else for us to do but to improve and get better.
You know what though? I'm gonna take a moment real fast, because I think we can all take it. We're gonna bask in this, right? You see my polo. We're about to do this. Boys. 1995 was the last World Series that the Atlanta Braves won. And now we can say we are the 2021 world champions. Juan, I know you were excited about it. Caleb, I know you were as well. I was too. Stayed up late. I don't give a damn. It was worth every ounce of fatigue that it came with it, right? But I want to take that moment right here. Obviously, I'm so happy. Obviously, Patrick says chop the fuck on. I am all for that as well, Patrick. But with that being said, we also saw what Kirby mentioned on Twitter and invited the Braves to Sanford Stadium. And for me, I think that he just gets it. That is a perfect thing to do because you take a noon kickoff, and Georgia's been blasted with several noon kickoff games this year, which is crazy. But there's more to it, I think, and you're looking at the grand scheme of college football. It's starting to make sense, which we can talk about that tomorrow. With that being said, though, obviously a noon kickoff, Missouri team that is absolute garbage. Bringing the Braves, inviting them in to Sanford Stadium, you're asking, without asking, the Dog fans to get ridiculous. Because you bring that in, look, everybody knows. Nobody gives a damn about Georgia Tech. The only thing Atlanta related that Dog fans like is the Braves. Maybe the Falcons, but definitely the damn Braves. Bring in the Braves, fresh off a World Series championship. Hell, they might as well. The parade Friday, come straight from the parade down to Athens. It'll be a party nonstop all weekend, right? Look, that tells me Dog fans gonna be liquored up. Doesn't matter if it's a noon kickoff or not. They gonna be loud. I'm just saying that's a way to get the crowd involved. Especially, look, talking to Patrick offline. Look, I'm telling you now, how insane would it be to have Freddie Freeman call out the Dogs?
Ooh.
Think about
that'd be crazy. That'd be awesome. I mean, of course, the city is just on an emotional high right now. I'll be down at the parade tomorrow for sure. I want to be a part of, everything that's going on. But if you announce the Braves at Sanford Stadium, be prepared to have one of those those Richter scale moments, because it's going to be absolutely insane. And the electricity that's just going to go through there is just going to be crazy. And I can guarantee you, just as hard as us as Bulldog fans and the Georgia Bulldogs were cheering on the Braves, they're going to do the same exact thing for us, and look for them as we go and go on this national championship march. Look for them to be very instrumental in getting the city rallied up, to go after this thing.
Look, Patrick said it best right here in the brigade, man. Let Blooper, if you don't know Blooper, that's the Braves mascot, run one of the big G flags out. I'm telling you right now, let him run out as a lead right there. Look, that place is going to be fucking rocking. That's all I'm going to say.
If I saw that, I may black out. I'm serious. I'm not even joking. And then, you know what? And I think it'll be the start of something great. And then we could look at this time next year as an anniversary of, hey, the Braves, they went up there and they won it again. Georgia's on the same path, and it could just become this awesome tradition, man. It would be something special.
Oh, no doubt. Caleb, what would you think if you saw, things like Blooper running the G out, or, obviously taking pictures with the UGA, right? Things like this. There's so many different opportunities to intertwine the Braves and the Dogs. Obviously thinking about game day environments and stuff like that. Look, I'm telling you right now, that place would be absolutely lit. What do you think, Caleb?
Yeah, Patrick actually stole it right out of my mouth. I was about to bring up how fun it would be to see Blooper and Harry Dog just having a blast out there, man. And I think you're going to see a lot of – I'm going to do it myself. You're going to see a lot of intertwined Georgia and Atlanta stuff. I was hoping to have it on right now. I got a Atlanta World Series hat on the way. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you something else, boys. That ain't the last title coming to Georgia this year, man. I don't think so. I honestly – and in 2017, you can get the 2017, 2021 comparisons, but I wasn't sure in 2017. I'm almost positive Georgia is going to win the national championship. I'm going to say it right here on the DGD podcast, man. And as far as I see these Alabama fans in your brigade right now, we're going to send them back to watching NASCAR, boys. Go Dogs.
I'm all for a Talladega race, all right? So
that's what it is. But it's an ongoing joke in my stream completely. That before Alabama was good in 2008, they were all NASCAR fans. It's a proven point though. Go look at the NASCAR ratings back in 2007, and then look at the football ratings. They're very similar. that's just a food for thought, man. Food for
So
thought.
I'm seeing Jay's comment here. Hell yeah, FTMFERS. We know what that means, and I'm going to transition with that being the perfect transition here. If you don't know what that means, I'm not going to speak it out because, well, we may have underage listeners and watchers, but we know where that came from, and it was after the Florida game. And with that being said, I want to show you. We have a video. Obviously, I think it's viral now around the world of college football. We're going to play this for you, and we're about to just rip into Dopey Dan from the Gainesville Clan. So after this video, we're about to have fun. Caleb, Juan, come in hot after this video.
Coach, the topic of recruiting has come up a lot the last couple of days from a few angles. Is it a different approach needed for the level of consistency?
Well, we're in the season right now. We'll do recruiting after the season, and when it gets to recruiting time, we can talk about recruiting.
Sounds good.
Okay. Next question.
Oh my goodness.
This is why Florida is where they are right now. That right there. Look,
let me tell y'all.
I'll let you
that
start.
this is where I got to talk. So last year, I heard it everywhere. Oh, Florida's closing the gap between them and Georgia. I heard it 50 million times. And I told Florida fans last year, if y'all are going to beat us, that better be the year. Obviously, they beat us. There's no closing in the gap. Like they said, we've lapped them. I'm pissed off about it because I hate Florida and I hate hearing that BS. There's no close race. We're number one in the East, and there's no second place. I don't care. They're all JV teams, in my opinion, including Florida, including Dopey Dan, Bozo the Clown, whatever you want to call him. That statement mind-boggled me. When I heard it, my jaw dropped. I was like, did he really just say that? I mean, Kirby's getting on choppers on Friday and getting back to the stadium Saturday morning. Like, Florida's program's a joke. Their recruiting's a joke. Dan Mullen's a joke. Their quarterback situation is a joke. And I ain't going to say it, but what is FTMFERS? Y'all know the deal. I don't like Florida, and I think that's funny.
I mean, Brigade, feel free to type it out in full text. I don't care. But I want to go on from there, right? You look at – so the bad part is I think the timing of this, right? The timing of this is what makes this that much worse. Because leading up to the cocktail party, you have your top two recruits, top two commits, decommit, in each week. Both leaning possibly to Georgia. For sure, I think Julian Humphrey is, in my opinion, I feel like he's going to be a dog. Shamar James is a Bama, Georgia right now. But that right there tells you everything you need to know. Obviously you lead that right there. Georgia kicks your ass on the field. There's no – look, they beat the shit out of Florida, right? I don't care what anybody says. From the second quarter on was pure domination, right? Offensive struggles aside, defense never gave them a chance to do anything. And then after the post-game conference, Kirby Smart talks about recruiting. He literally – his words, 50% recruiting, 25% evaluation, 25% coaching. And then Monday, you go and throw that shit out there at a press conference. It's too easy to sit here and see exactly why Georgia is number one in the country, every poll. They're number one in recruiting right now. Now, Bama, albeit number one in the country on the field. And Florida is 4-4. They lost two commitments, and they're barely top 25 in the recruiting. I think they're 9th in the SEC when it comes to recruiting rankings.
They're 35th in recruiting in that.
They're 35th now.
Yeah.
That if you're a Florida Gator fan, first off, I don't care. I don't have pity for you. They're starting to understand that Mullen is not the answer. And to me, that is more telling than anything you can hear Dan Mullen say. Because if they get rid of Dan Mullen and they get somebody in that is a tenacious recruiter, Florida has the potential to become what the Florida of old. You know, you look at teams. Juan, you saw this. You look at coaches with like Spurrier and Urban Meyer. We see the potential Florida has because you could literally take a pebble and throw it, or a boulder and throw it. It doesn't matter. Turn out your backyard and throw it, and you'll hit a 5-star, a 4-star. It does not. To me, being 30, you said 35th, Caleb. Being 35th. With first off, the program brand alone should keep you in the top 15. You are 35th in recruiting. That is fucking terrible, and it's a pathetic excuse for a recruitment. Look, we know Dan Mullen ain't a recruiter, right? We know that. We don't like, but you do not go in a fucking press conference and say that right there, because everybody, not Florida fans, not Georgia fans, everybody knows you're always recruiting. Kirby Smart says it all the time. Even D2, JUCO, they know that recruiting never stops. For you to say that, you made yourself the epitome of bozo the clown. Every reason to call this man a dumbass, clown, whatever you want to call him. Mondays, that was Monday. And now they don't even have any press conferences for the team the rest of the week, which just further just makes everything crazy. Right? Because you do that PR nightmare, add that on to the shit he did last year. Don't even get me started with that. He's a PR nightmare. He's getting that program closer to Mississippi State when he was there than he is anything close to Second or Georgia where they are right now. The gap is just widening, and it's moving fast as hell too.
I mean, if you're a recruit and you hear something like that, you know, what would then make you want to say, hey, I really want to be a Florida guy? No matter if they are getting if they commit, just for instance, like those guys that commit, you're still going to have guys that are just on them all day, thinking, hey, there's a possibility we're going to flip this guy. No different from how I would love more than anything to flip Travis Hunter. Guess what? Kirby is on the sidelines at a Collins Hill game, knowing that Travis Hunter is not playing, but he just wanted to get in front of him. And that he's been talking to him, and he just, hey, Travis, I'm not going to be allowed to talk to you on the field, but I'm going to be at your game. I'm going to be on the sidelines. So, like you said, recruiting never stops. But do you think that people are going to leave Travis Hunter alone? Do you think that they're going to leave all these recruits alone? Oscar Delp, you think that somebody's, Oscar Delp committed to Georgia, you think somebody said, oh, well, let's just stop recruiting him? Absolutely not. That's how we got Gunnar Stockton. Gunnar Stockton was committed to South Carolina, and guess what? Kirby still kept recruiting. So for Dan Mullen, and you've heard my gripes with Dan Mullen. He's he is. I see a big red nose and big red hair, every time that he talks, but he's the worst recruiter on the planet to have all of that talent in your backyard, and yet you are not going after it each and every day. That's just ridiculous.
At least Florida State and Miami are attempting. Look, the product on the field withstanding, right? Florida State with Norvell is actually doing a good job for what it's worth. Miami still working on it, right? They've gotten some big time commits. Where the fuck has Florida been? You had Javon Dexter, which I think is literally the whole time that Dan Mullen's been there. I think that's the only 5-star recruit that they've had, not from the transfer portal. Now he's done better in the portal, getting DeMarcus Bowman. No non-factor. I don't know where this kid went. But, you look at these guys right here. You always want to talk about development. Development isn't everything, because you can develop these guys, but they're still going to get the shit pounded in by a bunch of 5-stars. Like Shane Beamer said, they've got 100 5-stars on the field, 340 pounds running faster than anybody on the call. Caleb, if you want to finish it out.
What do you want me to find? The magical scheme? Damn. I love that guy.
I'm just saying. Florida is always, the expectations for Florida is always to be contending for not only the SEC championship, but the national championship. That's the fans' expectations. Dan Mullen is pushing them farther and farther away, and it all starts on the trail. Because like Juan said right there, Travis Hunter is tripled down on his commitment to Florida State. Crazily, you could think it's crazy. I think it's crazy, but nonetheless, commitment. That's commitment. still goes and sees him. Travis Hunter comes to 2 Georgia games. Now, you can say what you want, but that means something. You can take the game in, whatever. I don't care, but it means something to have him at least there.
Yeah, not 1, but 2.
Yeah, 2.
And then after the second one, you got Kirby on the sidelines. Man, I'm going to tell you what, that's exciting for me. And hey, Florida State should be very, very worried.
Y'all know what's right around the Mary Flipmas. Just watch out.
Shit, it's been Georgia's always. It doesn't. It's like Georgia, like
yes,
pancake season is always coming, man. I'm always ready for a flip. Now, the thing about it is this. Think about it this way. Juan, you mentioned here earlier about him going and recruiting Travis Hunter. It's not even 2022 commits. 2023, he goes to Newman High School in Louisiana, on the sidelines, watches Arch Manning when he's on a national game. Obviously schemed that up, but that's recruiting. That's recruiting. Look at what Nick Saban does. Goes on the Eli and Peyton thing, which I absolutely fucking love it. Goes on there and is talking about it. And basically, that's a recruiting pitch. Sitting there recruiting on the fucking show. That's a smart thing to do. The best teams are always recruiting. Always.
Yeah. And there's nothing
even
like
Ole Miss painted. Look, sorry, I wanted to cut you off. Obviously, they honored Eli, right, in Oxford. Now, to be fair, it was honoring Eli. But I'm telling you right now, a recruiting pitch, the end zones, what did they say? Manning. Both end zones, Manning. You ain't telling me that has something to do with damn Arch?
Right. But there's something about seeing a coach either on the sidelines or coming to, I remember in high school having lunch with Joe Paterno. I remember Coach Goff being on the sidelines, walking up and down the sidelines, as I'm playing a game. Pat Dye, all of these things, and you're looking like, man, this is real. Like, these guys really, truly want me. I haven't heard a situation where Dan Mullen has gone to a game and sat on the sidelines or done anything. Why? Because he's going to wait until the recruiting part gets to the recruiting part. Dude, it's too late. It is much too late after that. Much too late.
And look at it this way. I'm looking into the brigade, and I'm seeing that Tennille makes the perfect comment. She loves that players and commits recruit for Georgia. Look, Dan Mullen, we know you don't like recruiting, but that doesn't mean your fucking assistants don't like it either. Don't say that. Like, the fact that you said that basically takes all credibility and validity out of anything that Florida says, because that told me, and I'm sure it told everybody else, and especially recruits, we don't care about you until we're ready to come deal with you. You're not on that level. No one is. No one is. You're not guaranteed 5-star recruits every year. You have to work for it. Why do you think Kirby's always working for it? Always working for a flip. Same thing with Nick Saban, Dabo Swinney,
True.
Ryan Day, the great coaches, not even the greatest coaches. Every coach is always working. You see kids, elite kids, have crazy offers from Duke or Vanderbilt or whatever. That at least shows the effort. Look, I don't expect I'm sorry, Vanderbilt, but we beat your ass once and I'm about to brag on you again. Ain't no elite kid going to Vanderbilt. But that doesn't mean they're not going to stop trying to get him to come and show him what they have to offer. They might know they're out of the race to begin with, but damn it, they're going to give it their best and sit there and get him there. Try to.
Yeah, you're right. I tell you what, though, with if I were a Vanderbilt or college like that, I'd just basically wait to see what happens at Georgia, because Georgia's got a lot of offers out there, and unfortunately, with everything that's happening with these flips and all that, not everybody's going to be able to get a scholarship to Georgia, so somebody's going to be left out. And if I were Vanderbilt, I'd just be there to clean up whatever, whatever doesn't happen. But Florida's not going to do that. And they're just not, but I'm not mad about it. I don't care, if I'm being honest. I am okay with that. The things that I am thankful for is that they don't have an Urban Meyer, because Urban Meyer did a great job of recruiting. He did a great job of recruiting up at Ohio State. He's a great recruiter. He took pride in it. And then you get somebody that's on the opposite end, like a Dan Mullen. He's 35. You're 35th. Like you're the University of Florida in the SEC, and you're 35th in the nation. That's horrible.
Dude, Ole Miss and Mississippi State are right there on their heels. Think about that.
Conference. You're terrible. That's terrible.
That is nowhere close to what Florida deserves. And what I mean by that is their expectations.
Yeah.
Like I said, the brand alone should get you in the top 25th easily. Do I think they finished top 25? Sure. But your words that you just spoke, Mullen, Monday, every single kid is going to hear the anti-recruiting pitch against the University of Florida by whoever they're getting recruited by. If I'm a head coach of a program and I'm trying to go after a kid that Florida's looking at, tell me why I would be crazy not to say, did you just see what that dumbass just said? He doesn't care. He thinks you can come in. He thinks he can come in and just say, come to the University of Florida. We're great. No. Every university is going to be great in their own manner and their right ways. Show me why relationships, right? Juan, you were recruited out of high school. You were a high assaulted recruit. You know this as much as anybody else. Relationships matter. That tells me he doesn't care about the relationship with you and him. Doesn't matter to him.
But it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. If I'm a highly touted recruit and I know Caleb is a highly touted recruit, guess what? I'm gonna want Caleb on my team, and that's just that. So if I'm a Florida commit and he's not doing anything to get Caleb, he's not surrounding me with Caleb. Instead, I get somebody that's that's just not even that good. But hey, we kind of just run out of things or whatever. We'll just bring you on. What does that say about the program? What does that say about what you're trying to build? It just doesn't do anything at all. So guess what? People are going to jump ship because they want to be surrounded by other, 5, 4, 3 stars. They want to be surrounded by that. So, just to have that recruiting class. So if you look at it, this recruiting class that Georgia has right now that is going to go to go for a national championship. Could you imagine being a part of that? Could you imagine being a part of, you're looking around at us and by the time we're sophomores, juniors, and seniors, we've got 2, 3 national championships. They'll say that's the greatest class on the planet. That's just that. Who doesn't want to be a part of that?
I mean, I'm with Patrick. If they got free bubble gum, count me in.
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you this right here, though. Caleb, I'll let you speak on this, but I do want to say this right here. Juan, you mentioned the state of the program. When you're sitting here, you're as a University of Florida, and you're flipping guys from Florida Atlantic, like the other small Florida universities, and you're not flipping kids from Clemson, Florida State, teams that are not doing well on the field this year. You're not going in and you're trying to flip those kids. Clemson would be a prime example to try to flip because we see what's going on in the field. Why not sit there and try to use something at least to try to get you recruiting against them? No, you're sticking around with 3 stars, trying to flip 3 stars. Georgia is about to. I'm telling you right now, Julian Humphrey is going to be a dog, in my opinion. That's a high 4-star. You also look at James Singletary, that was an Ohio State decommits, more than likely going to be a dog. That's a 5-star. You sit there, obviously looking at another aspect of recruiting, retainment. Bear Alexander decommits. He recommits to the Dogs. That's a 5-star, depending on how you look at it. The gap is just widening. And Dan Mullen, the longer you sit there as the head coach of the Florida Gators, Gator fans, understand this. You're getting set back years. Each year that he's there, you're getting set back at least twice, if not 3 times more for each year, because recruiting lasts 3 to 4 years. So based off of that right there, just 1 year alone is 3 years, potentially. Now, the transfer portal we're not being super analytical. I'm being short, sweet, and to the damn point. That's all I'm saying. But Florida, you got a fucking problem on your hands, and you need to do something about it. Because the recruits know. The recruits know. That's why do you think the top two left ship?
You got to think about this too. We're talking about the talent levels. Florida had not lost to Kentucky in 38 years. They've lost twice out of 4 attempts with Dan Mullen. 50%. You got a problem, Florida. I just wanted to make that point real quick because hats off to Kentucky and hats on for Florida. They're trash, man.
Yeah. Well, think about this, guys. And this ain't even recruiting. This is on-field production because recruiting reflects that. What do you remember the statistic that you're hearing in the last several games? They have only won twice against Power 5 conference, Power 5 teams. They're like 2-7, I think it was, or some shit like that. That's fucking pathetic. You're Florida. That should not. It should be flipped.
That's like Vanderbilt-ish, or or somebody where they'll win against a Duke or something like that. So they're almost in that same category. That's terrible.
Look, I'm not trying to. Everything culminates together to form obviously the end result. But let's be honest here. You're looking at teams that, in my opinion, should not be where they are right now. Mississippi State's only lost 3 games and they're ranked 17. Mississippi State they're not that good. Now they're good, but I look, Will Rogers is balling like hell right now. But what I mean by that is teams that Arkansas is another example. Just 2 years ago, both of these teams were in the damn dumpster in the West, and now they're ranked. They're ranked. Florida, you haven't. What is going on? And I'm just telling you, it all starts with your damn head coach. It all starts with your head coach. Patrick Oliver says he saw a dumpster on fire on Halloween. He thought it was a gator costume. Just saying.
I don't even know if they're a dumpster fire. They're more like dumpster juice at this point.
That's even worse.
Bad.
Dude, it's bad, man. I love it. I can't stand Gators. I love it.
I'm a damn Gator hater, so I'm sitting back just sipping my tea like Kermit the Frog.
The funny thing is the 2-7, one of those wins was against Vanderbilt. So does that even count?
Nah, bro, that's 1-8 basically. Well, no, it's a loss. No, they did beat the shit out of them. So I mean,
yeah, they whooped
What
them.
do you do? Yeah, but look, I can't even say Vanderbilt's a damn Power 5. I really can't in football.
No.
But no, that statistic is just telling, right? 2-7 against Power 5. Obviously there's just so much going on. The recruiting comments. Look, and even going back to last year, right? The discipline issues that they had are still more as ever present. And that's a sign of terrible coaching because coaches should hold their kids accountable and not let shit like that happen. Because if you go back to last year, obviously Mullen leads that damn fight, got a couple guys suspended or whatever, right? And kind of incited it really and trying to get your crowd hyped up over that. Like, to me, that's something that a normal coach, in my opinion, would try to push back and say, look, that's irresponsible. That's not the Florida standard. No, my man sitting over to the crowd sitting there, let's go. Like that, you're fucking dumb for doing that. But then you sit there and you go as Darth Mullen. Darth Mullen makes no damn sense. Just because it's Halloween doesn't mean you sit there and look like a damn clown. You should have dressed up as Bozo, not Darth Mullen. Just saying. And then, and really, to me, last year, the nail in the coffin was the comments after the Oklahoma game. Gets throttled by Oklahoma. Our last game was a month ago. What?
And you want to go play for this guy?
It's transferring over this year.
Yeah.
It's transferring over this year. You see Florida got Brenton Cox, former Georgia Bulldog, transfers down there. Legitimately gave up in the middle of a fucking play. Had Stetson dead to right. Stetson runs back and around and gives up on the fucking play. Why he's not a dog anymore. That right there.
Good point.
They're undisciplined. They don't play hard. No wonder you're 4-4. No wonder. LSU,
sir.
it's just I love it. we all love it. Right? Us three, we all love it. The Brigade, I'm sure, unless you're a Gator fan, you love it because I love to see Florida struggle. I don't think there's a good team in Florida right now. The entire state. IMG might be the best Florida football team there is right now.
That's fair.
You ain't telling me Jacksonville Jaguars ain't even that good. All right. IMG is the best team in Florida right now. And that's telling.
Fair.
That's
yes,
telling.
I'm going to steal that line.
There
Yeah.
you go. There
Yes,
you go.
sir.
All right, guys. Look, we're going to wrap it up for today. Stick around for the Q&A, though. With that being said, we're going to wrap it up. Caleb, thanks for coming on, my man. Where can people find you? Since we got several channels right now, where can people find you, man?
Just look me up on Facebook Gaming, KTG13TV. I play the old NCAA 14 game. We talk a lot of college football, mostly Georgia, but I mean, everybody's invited. And just come in, chill with me, give your 2 cents about college football, and we'll dang sure talk about it, man. It's a good time over there, and we're 3.5 thousand followers deep. So come join the crew and have a good time with us.
That's what's up.
There we go. As always, Juan, it was a pleasure having you on. Looking forward to tomorrow. Remember, guys,
Yes, sir.
12 noon Eastern, special Veterans Day episode. We're going to have several different guests. You're going to do a military story time. I can't wait for this. And then we're also going to talk college football. We're going to talk NCAA, not just Georgia, but NCAA wide here. So stick around and tune in tomorrow. Can't wait for that. On that note, guys, go Dogs. Have a great day. I'll catch you
Go
on the next
Dogs.
episode.
It's been real, Caleb. Go Dogs.
Thank you, man. Go Dogs.
This is the DGD Podcast. Go Dogs.
All right, Brigade, we are back. Q&A, and we're going to read some comments. Look, I'm telling you right now, I saw G Bama, Jay Shipes. Look, I love both of y'all. But calm down, guys. It's okay. It's all right. Anyways, Caleb, we heard what's about Florida right now. What are your thoughts on the SEC right now while we let the Brigade get in their questions and things like that? What is your thoughts and takeaways of the SEC right now, especially in the West?
The West is wide open. I mean, there's 3 teams that can possibly win it right now. You got Alabama, who controls their own destiny, Auburn, who controls their own destiny, and Texas A&M still needs a little help, but they have a chance. If they win, if they beat Auburn, and then Auburn goes and beats Alabama, it's a 3-way tie. And A&M would have beat both of them, so they may sneak in. I don't know, man. The SEC West is wild. I think the East, obviously the East is already wrapped up, but I'm gonna give you a spoiler alert. If I had to pick between Auburn and Alabama today, I might take Auburn.
Look, I respect the shit out of Alabama, but let's be honest. And I think the reason why we're probably about to say the same thing here, or at least agree on this, is because it's in Jordan Hare right now. That's got to be a part of it. Because look, Alabama has not won in Jordan Hare since 2015. There's some crazy shit that goes on in Jordan Hare. Georgia's been a part of it. Bama's experienced it. It's insane. I swear I think it was built on like some kind of voodoo graveyard or some bullshit. Like I can't be completely – I'm being serious. Like I'm being dead serious when I say that. It's like something goes on there. I don't know what's going on. It might be worse than the damn fighting Texas Aggie cold or something, But, looking at that game right there, though, look, Bo Nix and that defense really, in my opinion, Auburn's defense is playing pretty well. But I'm curious to see how they line up against Alabama. Mechie and look, Jameson Williams more than anybody. I love what they're doing, but Bryce Young, to be as young as he is, no pun intended, really composed. I love my man plays with so much composure. You have to take that into context. But we're still seeing what that defense is about. We saw Florida gash them. We saw what happened at Texas A&M. Look, I think Bama handles business, but I think you have to be careful if you're Alabama, especially going in the Iron Bowl. I think that's a game that you really have to come ready to go and give your A game to make sure you make that game, come out of that game victorious. Because obviously, I think if you do, you'll face Georgia and Atlanta. But anything can happen in Jordan Hare, man.
I'm gonna actually rebut you on this, man. If you go back and watch tape, if you get pressure on Bryce Young, he nuts up. There's no composure there. He struggles, and obviously Georgia's going. If they play, Georgia's going to get pressure on him. I don't know if Bryce Young's going to be able to handle it. I honestly, for the first time in a while, I can confidently say I think Georgia's better than Alabama, and I think they're going to beat them if they play. I still think Auburn's got a chance, man. And this is where I like to kind of compare. You look at Stetson Bennett, you look at Bo Nix. They both love their respective schools. And obviously, Bo Nix does not like Alabama. He's going to put everything on the line to beat them. He's already 1-1 against them. I think Bo Nix and Auburn's going to give Alabama hell this year. I'd pick them to win right now. Maybe not down the road, but right now I'd pick Auburn, and we shall see. But if they can get pressure on Bryce Young, Alabama's going to struggle.
Yeah, I think when you look at look, Florida game was one thing. I don't even understand how to make that game, how that game played out. A&M, kind of had given him pressure, and that's the signs of a young quarterback, right? I think, to me, and G Bama's in here, so he can please help me out here. But I think Bama has been built with experience, especially at the quarterback position. You have this, youth. You're definitely seeing some growing pains, but you see the flashes of potential greatness. I genuinely think Bryce Young could very well be the next great Bama quarterback. I think he will be the next great quarterback. But obviously, everybody goes through these growing pains, right? I think you have to have the expectation that could happen. You see hiccups against A&M. But, in my opinion, also, I think you look at what, some of that was defensively. But, still, I think, obviously, we understand that Bama controls their own destiny still, even with one loss. So, it's definitely interesting to see. But like you said, I think Bama has to come in hot and heavy against Auburn to make sure they take care of business. Jordan Hare is a crazy-ass place to play.
Yeah.
Bryce Young is about to experience that firsthand starting there. But like I said, I'm just curious to see what the line is going to be for that game.
I think it'll be about if Alabama. Are you talking about Alabama Auburn game?
Yeah.
The line.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it'll probably be. I still think Bama will be favored maybe by 5, 4.5. But
so you thinking maybe a touchdown? I wouldn't be surprised to see it like 8.5.
Not in Auburn. Not in Auburn. It depends on what the records are.
Well,
I think
also
if
Auburn's got to take care of business against A&M.
Yeah, if Auburn beats A&M, I think it'll be 5. Yeah, I
can see that. Looking at what Bama says, all quarterbacks struggle under pressure, especially Georgia quarterback. To some degree, yes. To some degree, no. I see your point, but to me, look, it's all a testament to the offensive line and having competent running backs. And really, you have to understand that what you saw from Stetson Bennett last year is not the same Stetson Bennett this year. Do I also think JT starts playing here more. Obviously, you're seeing Georgia's offense, under Stetson. It's going to be a different offense because Todd Monken understands what he has in both quarterbacks, and I think you're going to see Monken's game plan evolve to the better, to basically help JT back in, and you're going to see a different type of offense. Both quarterbacks have their own different skill sets and weaknesses. Obviously, Stetson has the ability to sit here and, run the ball, pull the ball. That's why you see, I would say about 4 or 5 times a game, you see him pull the ball and run. And when he does, he makes you pay. So you have to be ready for the quarterback pulling. Whereas with JT you don't have to worry about that. But you also know he's going to get the ball. I think JT suits his team better. I love what Stetson's done. You can't discredit what he's done so far. Because we've went out there, and you can say the defense for damn sure. I'm not going to say that you can't. But you also have to put up points, right? We've only had a couple pick sixes, right? I mean, we've had more pick sixes than last year. But what I mean by that is the offense still has to go out, execute enough to score points. And we're doing that. And honestly, you look at the statistics, and Bama and Georgia are right up there in the top 10 on each defensive and offensive efficiency, right? You look at the score differential, Bama and Georgia are right there at the top, like as they should be. And to give up, look, Georgia has given up, I think, average 6.6 points per game. But if you take out that UAB pick six, you're looking at 5.75 points per game. You're basically saying we'll give you 7 points, and that's all you're going to get for the rest of the game. That's fucking crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, and I wanted to go back and and say something about Bama boy. All quarterbacks struggle under pressure, especially Georgia's quarterbacks. I know Stetson struggled against Alabama, but if you go back, Jake Fromm's 2 best games were against Alabama. So I like your troll job. You're trying to troll. You're not very good at it. We'll keep it 100 with you. But yeah, man, I'm ready to see how this season ends up. I'm not worried about Alabama. I don't think Jay Shipes is worried about Alabama. He's the one trolling in here. I kind of like that guy, man. I like that guy. I think Alabama will score more than 7 points, but I don't think they score enough, man. Dogs by 14.
Look, I'll tell you right now, G brought up a good point saying he'll score more than 7 points. I think you do score more than 7 points, but I'm just curious, and what I mean by that is I'm just curious who can score more than 20. I mean, look, I get it. I know the offense is potent. You look at a team like Oklahoma with Caleb Williams, things like that. They have the potential to throw up a ton of points. But I'm just curious because you look at the teams around them, they haven't played a defense like Georgia's yet. And look, anybody thinking that Georgia hasn't played nobody is a fucking clown in themselves. Look, we've done everything we can. You sit there, you play Arkansas when they're 11th, or Kentucky when they're top 10, Clemson when they're 3rd, right? We can't help what happens afterwards. Clemson was healthy when we played them. Keep that in mind, guys. Clemson was healthy. So there's a lot of games we come in and we just purely dominate. But you always hear that narrative. And look, I think that's what happens when you play great teams. I think Bama, to me, I think people say who have they played, but not nearly as much as what Georgia's seeing this year. But to me, I think Bama could very well throw up more than 7 points. I expect them to do so. But, offensive efficiency is going to play here. And I think whoever has a better defense, it could come down to a similar situation. I'm just curious to see if Georgia can handle a shootout type feel. I think we can score points like that. But my question is also, like, who can score on Georgia's defense? Like, legitimately score and run the score up. Score more than 14, 13 points. Because that's the most – it's crazy to say this, but fucking South Carolina is tied for giving up the most points to Georgia, or scoring the most points on Georgia, I should say. It's so fucking crazy to say that. It really is. But, yeah, Bama, I agree with you. I think I'm sure Bama would score more than 7, but y'all got to get there too. I think there's a very good chance that you will get to Atlanta, but it's still got to happen. So until then, I just want to see how Bama plays and how things let them play themselves out. And Georgia, we're sitting here talking about who we could be playing, and just watch everybody else play themselves out. I think A&M's probably going to play themselves out, but who knows what happens if they beat Auburn? All types of shit could happen, really. It's crazy. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, I'm ready to see how the West plays out, man. It's definitely gonna be fun. Get your popcorn ready.
Yeah, I saw there's a Gator fan in here. Mr. Pugh, I think is his name. He can't stand Georgia. Look, I understand, man. I'm sorry. I feel sorry for you because you have to put up with that damn circus. Y'all, look, I'll tell you right now, Florida fans deserve better, but because you pull for Florida, I don't give a shit. Y'all deserve better. See, that's the bad part, though. I'm just saying here, yeah, we're rebuilding to be fair. Florida shouldn't be in a rebuilding stage. They should always be in a reloading stage. That's a testament to how bad Dan Mullen has gotten that program. Look, I understand with Muschamp there. Muschamp was kind of bad. McElwain was kind of the same thing, but he did give you Kyle Trask. The question there lies, who's been produced since he's been there, since Mullen's been there? And I'm with you. Look, if they let go of Grantham and Mullen, Florida, who knows what the fuck can happen? Because it's all gonna dictate who they hire next. Look, I'm telling you right now, Caleb, if they hired somebody like a Mel Tucker, I would be fucking nervous because he has the cojones to go out there and recruit relentlessly. But it's all a matter up to your AD to see if you get the budget, my man, because The difference here, you look at what Kirby did when he came in. He said, "Give me a blank check." You sit there. I think Georgia spends about 3 times as much as what Florida does on recruiting budget alone. You have to open up the bank when it comes to shit like that, because look, let's be honest. Recruiting wins championships. I know production. I know there's all accumulation, right? A whole culmination of things, but it starts with recruiting because you got to get the guys there too. Development only goes so far, right? Evaluation helps out as well, but you still got to get those guys to get on your campus and play for the University of Florida, University of Georgia. So until that changes, you're going to be stuck in a rebuilding stage, and that's not good. That's not good, because Florida should be in the state of reloading, and you're not. And that's a sign of how far things have fallen. And honestly, Caleb, I'll let you speak on this as well, but kind of reading his comment about Mr. Pugh's comment about Stoops in Kentucky. One thing that I'll give credit to Stoops, not only Stoops, but Kentucky's athletic department, giving him time to develop and build his program, get his guys, and build them in. Been there 9 years, and they've gotten better. They're getting better. Kentucky, I don't think will ever kind of get those guys, right? Like, they haven't been in that place to do that yet. But I also think you sit there, Keontae Goodwin, if he sticks around and goes to Kentucky, that's a big time get for Kentucky.
No.
That's a 5-star player right there. That's a 5-star. And that's almost unheard of for Kentucky. And that just tells me how far Stoops has come. I'm glad. I love seeing that kind of story, because it defeats the narrative of fan bases and boosters getting so impatient and letting go of somebody before they can even get a full fucking class of recruiting in. Give them 3 years, 4 years to get their guys in and see what it's about then. You can't expect, especially if you're doing system changes, that shit can take some time. You're not giving them the time. You're sitting there, your expectations to automatically win, I get it, but you have to be patient. Kentucky pays off by being patient. They're ranked. They're winning games. They're beating teams that they shouldn't be beating, technically. There you go. That's why I love what Stoops is doing at Kentucky.
Yeah, I think Mark Stoops is a top 10 coach in college football, man. The dude's doing it with less. And, I mean, like Sharman, man, less is more to old Stoops. And, hey, my dude's doing a good job. I really like Stoops, and I honestly thought that Kentucky played Georgia better than anyone. So he had his troops ready, man. So whoever gets Stoops is going to get a good coach.
Not without question. Miriam Corbin, welcome to the show. First time seeing you in here. Welcome. Also look though, looking at Kentucky though, right? For years, it's been this concept of if they can get a competent quarterback that can pass the ball, they're going to be dangerous. Will Levis. Now, they're not playing as great as it could be, but I'm telling you right now, there's several teams in the SEC that I wouldn't want to. If I'm putting them up against Kentucky, I would pick Kentucky over, because they have the competency on offense. What's killing them is turnovers. They got to figure that shit out. They are turning the ball over like a damn baker. They're turning over. It's terrible, man. It's terrible. But if they fix the turnover issue, I think they're a legit problem for most everybody else. Like, period.
Yeah, I agree.
Pugh, I'm with you, man. Jimbo is overrated as a coach. Look, Caleb, you reside close to Florida State, so you know exactly what was happening when he was at Florida State. What say you on this?
I don't think Jimbo's overrated. Once he's already got Texas A&M, above what they were. Give him a few more years. Let him get a few more classes under him. A&M's going to be a problem, man. I don't think Jimbo's overrated at all. I think he's a good coach. I hate him. I don't like him. He's a good coach.
But you also have to look at what he's doing. Look, when it comes to recruiting right now, I think what he's doing there and the potential, I think this is key here. It's right? If he gets the folks and the recruits that he's expected to get in this class, his defense is about to reload and then some. Because you're looking at possibly getting Walter Nolan, Shamar Stewart, and just a plethora of other guys, possibly Anai White. That's 3 basically 5-stars on your defensive line alone in one class. He knows what the fuck he's doing when it comes to recruiting, period. I'm just going to leave it there. And you can't necessarily he's overrated more so than because I mean, one, he's won a title, he understands what it takes. But you also have to get, like I said, this all comes into giving him time. Right, his crazy ass contract or whatever. Nonetheless, look, you're seeing what happens when him getting there because he took a Texas A&M program that wasn't terrible, but he's turned him into a true contender in the West every year now. And it all starts in recruiting. This whole show's been about recruiting. There you go. That's a good question, Pew. Let's see. Since y'all are Georgia fans, where does UGA go if y'all don't win at all? Well, I think Georgia continues to do the same shit. I think it's a probability here, right? You have to look at the odds and the probability statistics. You sit there, you keep pushing yourself in, make it to the playoffs. Your odds are going to be at some point you fucking win. You get in there enough times, you're going to win. Do I think this is Georgia's best year? Yes. Do I think Georgia's a playoff contender every year? Yes. So the more times you get in there, the more chances you have of winning. Obviously, you can strike out every time. I understand. But I think it's a probability question. The more times you make it to the playoffs, the more chances you have, the better chance Georgia's going to stay right there because the recruit ain't going to stop. Georgia's not going to let Kirby go making it to the playoffs every year. You'd be fucking dumb because who are you going to bring in that's better? So, Georgia fans think and realistically understand that. Unless there's a drop-off, like a significant drop-off, Georgia's going to be in the same position. Obviously, I think, in my opinion, contending for the East, winning the East, contending for the SEC championship game, even winning the SEC championship game, making the playoffs, contending for national titles. And I think that's where Georgia's going to be for the foreseeable future. And Kirby's, look, to always be recruiting, right, to always be recruiting, that plays into this mentality in the same circle of life. Same circle of life. I think that's the case. Caleb, do you have anything else to say to that?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head perfectly, man.
So since Miriam's new here, look, we're in the Q&A portion where you just comment and we'll answer your questions. Comments, questions, feel free to pop them in and we'll sit there and chat it up for a little bit. Ooh, all right. I see a joke for the Bama fans. Why don't girls do reverse cowgirl? All right, getting a little bit past PG rated. Oh, my goodness. I'm just going to let that read itself, folks. It's funny, but I don't want to say that.
Yeah, that was funny, man. I ain't going to lie. I've heard that one before, though. But I'm gonna have to cut you short, man. I got to go. But I appreciate you having me, and I really enjoy being on this podcast and hope to be back soon.
Likewise, man. Hey, look, Brigade, y'all came in hot and heavy. Y'all did not disappoint. Come in tomorrow, 12 o'clock, Veterans Day episode. It's going to be lit. I'll give you one special guest name right here. He's the father of ballers, Chris Milton. That's all I'm gonna say. Expect him on tomorrow. That's just one name. Got several others. Look, Caleb, thanks for coming on. Thanks for sticking around with Q&A, and looking forward to seeing this stuff going tomorrow, man. Hopefully you're able to tune in tomorrow as well.
I'll be in here watching for sure, man. And thanks to the Brigade too for having me. I enjoyed it, and I love you guys too, man. Go Dogs, and hopefully, like I said, I'll be back on the show soon.
Absolutely, man. We're gonna take one more question, and we will wrap it up. Since she's new, Miss Miriam. Any concerns on our place kicking? Not a serious concern, but I do get a little tense. I'm with you. I get nervous too because he's been inconsistent, and it's only coming a matter of time before we end up needing him. Can he make it? So it definitely brings up some questions there. Georgia's not had to play into a situation where the kicking actually matters. Until then, I'm not concerned. I am a little bit, but I'm not super concerned, Miriam. If we get into a game where we're playing close, like I think could happen against Alabama or in the playoffs, then I'm really starting to sweat. I really am. If it continues so far. If it's continued so far to date, if it settles itself out, great. If not, I'm really getting nervous. Really getting nervous. All right, guys. Look, hope everybody has a great rest of your day. Hope everybody enjoyed the show. Come in tomorrow, noon, Veterans Day special, several different guests, military story time. Come in, tell your stories in the comments in the Brigade, and have a great day. Go Dogs.